to be sharing some snow activity ideas for 2-year-olds and lots of ideas to get your toddlers outdoors in winter. Happy New Year and welcome to my first video of 2021. The new year has brought with it lots of snow and beautiful crisp winter weather here in Scotland, so we've been spending a lot of time outdoors, and I thought I would share some of our favourite activities and some of our favourite things to do while we're on winter walks, in case you're looking for some ideas when you're out and about with your toddler too. Before heading into the video, I quickly wanted to mention something that's a bit of a challenge for 2021 for us, a bit of a New Year's resolution, and that is that we're going to take part in something called the 1,000 Hours Challenge. It is such a simple concept. It is just that you will spend at least 1,000 hours over the course of the year outdoors with your toddler. There is a printable to track this and lots more information on the 1,000 Hours Challenge website, so I will link everything below in case you want to look into it to do something similar with your little one as well. I think it's just a really nice way to track how much time you're spending outdoors, and it's also a bit of a motivator when the weather's not good to actually get out and know that it's one of the best things for your child's development. I do also plan on putting together a bit of a special video for Ben based on this, so I will film a second for every hour that we are outdoors, and at the end of the year we'll have a 1,000-second long, 16 minutes-ish video of Ben as a kind of memory of this year outdoors. There is just so much learning which takes place in an outdoor environment without any input from an adult. Ben is so happy just to run, explore, pick up a stick, and that stick has 300 million uses. It's a broomstick, it's a magic wand, then it's a stick for his imaginary dog. So a lot of the activities that I'm going to show today are not even necessary. It's something that we throw in, maybe the odd activity here and there when we're out on a walk, but Ben is so happy, all ready to entertain himself. I just wanted to quickly mention a few things which have been absolutely indispensable in getting Ben out and about this winter. Firstly, I would totally recommend a good pair of boots. So these just were around £7 or £8 from Next that we got on the sale last year. They are so much warmer on his feet than wellies are, although sometimes he does want to wear wellies so that he can jump in puddles, but in the snow these are awesome. So well used already, you can see how muddy they are. We also do have gloves for Ben, but it is such a struggle to get him to keep gloves on. He absolutely hates them. If anyone has a solution for getting your toddler to keep gloves on, I would love to hear it in the comments below. We also have a buff for Ben, so like a tube scarf. These are fantastic because there are not little bits of scarf flying around. Ben also loves that it's a space theme. Then we have his waterproofs. So here's his waterproof jacket and his waterproof trousers. These came from Lidl and they were only around £16 and they are used so often in our house, like practically every day. So they have been such good value for money. They're ages 2 to 4. But they do have this kind of clip so that you can adjust them to the right size, and I tend to put these trousers on him with a pair of tights, just got in like a 3-pack from Tesco's, and a pair of trousers underneath that. The jacket, however, is not super warm, so this is his warmer jacket here that we use when it's really snowy. It's a trespass number, really thick and nice and warm, and also big enough to keep lots of layers underneath. And then we have a very talented great auntie who knits him beautiful jumpers, and we often layer a woolly jumper underneath there too. So let's get started with my snow activities for 2-year-olds. Before getting into any of the other activities, I want to give a quick special mention to the classics. Obviously, sledging is a very popular snow activity, and for good reason. Ben loves to go down bigger hills with one of us, smaller hills by himself, but it's also fantastic for imaginary play. He loves to put things in it and pull it along. He loved to pretend that one of us was a reindeer and one of us was Santa, getting pulled along in a sleigh. There are so many other ways to use this, and it's always a hit. Because Ben has been relatively recently reading lots of Christmas themed books, he was so excited to build a snowman this winter. Obviously there's only so much of this that he can actually do by himself, especially when he's wearing gloves, but he was so excited to see a snowman take form. I was very excited about, for example, adding on his little sticks for arms. And of course the snowballs and snowball fights are absolutely worth a mention. If you want to turn this into a little bit more of an activity, you can also create some kind of target that toddlers are throwing their snowballs at. That most popularly is one of the parents, but it could also be a post, a tree. Another thing that Ben loves to do is for us to pile snowballs up on top of one another and for him to knock them down. And now for the slightly more unusual activities. Ben is a huge fan of snow Pictionary. So we just start to draw something in the snow and he has to guess what it is. This is a fantastic language game. It's also something that now Ben has started to love doing as well. So he'll draw something and we have to guess what it is. That is challenging. We've also started to love doing that with ice. So sometimes in the morning, if our house windows are iced over, we can draw something on the windows and Ben can again guess what it is. Another awesome activity, which is such a good learning activity, is to look out for animal tracks. In Scotland, this is pretty easy, especially if you're walking across farmland or you're in a park or in the forest. It's really easy to spot mice tracks, definitely dog tracks, because people are walking their dogs all the time. And Ben finds this so exciting and so fascinating that we can stop and discuss it. This is a great learning opportunity. However, if you cannot see any tracks, you can actually make a game out of creating the tracks yourself. I'm sure lots of you will be familiar with the book The Gruffalo's Child, where it goes, aha, oh ho, a trail in the snow. Who's this trail and where does it go? So quite often I will create a track just with my glove in the snow and Ben has to guess what it is. He loves this because, for example, a snake's one is really obvious, so would a giant Gruffalo one be? So this is another really nice, again, activity which is super for language. Creating habitats or homes outdoors in the snow for toy animals is fantastic imaginative play. When we actually took the footage of him doing this though out in the snow, he had to wear gloves because it was so cold and so snowy, and he therefore found it really difficult to grab the animals. So this is definitely one for a slightly warmer day where they are able to not wear gloves and move their figures around. But Ben loves, for example, to have a cave for the polar bear and then also like a little fishing hole that he can move them across to. And there are so many opportunities here. It is very open play because they can essentially build whatever they want, however they want. When there's quite a lot of snow, it's so fun to take some of the equipment that you'd normally use with sand, so buckets and spades. Ben absolutely loves to build snow castles. It's actually really easy to get this snow castle out of the bucket. It glides really well, and of course it is just as much fun to knock the snow castles down as it is to build them. Playing with ice is also a fantastic learning concept. Ben loves to look out for icicles when we're walking around outdoors. He also loves to find frozen puddles or bits of frozen stream, lift them up and let them fall to the ground so that they smash, even trying to poke holes in a frozen over puddle. Or recently Ben has also started liking to try ice skating on top after he has a few books where characters ice skate. This is much easier if he does it in partnership with Thomas, but as you can see from some of the footage here, Thomas is a bigger kid than Ben is when it comes to pretend ice skating.
Is that a hat?
We're in a wee hut, yeah.
And if you're going on a longer outdoor walk that's a little bit further away, I would totally recommend checking to make sure there's somewhere nice to have a little break. Also, of course, snacks is super important, and something to warm you up like a hot drink is awesome. We love to take a fruit tea because Ben can share it with us. Now, I would absolutely love to know if you have any other snow or winter walk activity ideas, things that you do when you're out and about with your toddlers. I would love to hear them for a little bit more inspiration, and I'm sure other parents would as well. So please drop them below in the comments. Please remember to hit the like button if today's video gave you some ideas, and hit subscribe if you haven't already and would like to see lots more toddler activity videos. I do post a new video every week, and I already have a full playlist full of toddler activity ideas which I'll link above and below for you in case you want to see more right now. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a fantastic 2021, and I'll hopefully see you in my next video. Bye bye!